Hello and welcome to our video summary of The Monk's Tale. This is part of our Canterbury Tales video series where we look at each of the 24 stories written in the Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer. And should you want to find our analysis and summaries of other stories in the Canterbury Tales, do make sure you check out our channel and you'll find it all there. So in this video, I'll summarise all you need to know about this story, and I'll also provide some analysis that you should be aware of when reading and writing about this tale. So let's get started. Now, the monk is presented as a very fat and happy monk. He loves food and wine, and he enjoys spending time in a tavern more than the monastery, which obviously calls into question his character and the hypocrisy in his character. Now, in the prologue, Chaucer finishes his tale of Melibea, and the host comments that he wishes his wife would be more like Prudence. The host then turns to the monk and comments that he would be good for breeding if he were allowed to. The monk takes his joking well and promises to tell a story about Edward the Confessor, but first will tell a series of tragedies. The first tragedy that the monk recounts is the tragedy of Lucifer and Adam. Lucifer was once an angel who fell down from heaven, whilst Adam was exiled from paradise for disobeying, and both are taken from the first book in the Bible, which is Genesis. The second tragedy is the tragedy of Samson. So Samson admits to his wife that his great strength comes from his faith and not cutting his hair. And Samson's wife betrays him, and his enemies cut his hair and cut his eyes out and imprison him. Samson was kept in a temple and knocked down 2 of the pillars holding it up, killing everyone inside, including himself. The other tragedy is that of Hercules. He had strength like no other. However, he was defeated when Deianira had Nicias make him a poisoned shirt and sent it to him. This tragedy is of the king of Babylon, and he defeated Israel. He had a statue of himself made and commanded his people to praise it. Daniel refused to, and he went mad until God finally healed him. Balthasar, who's the son of the previous king, whose name I'm finding a little bit difficult to pronounce, was also a pagan. He had a feast for thousands of lords, during which he saw a handwriting on the wall. Daniel warned him of what happened to his father and said the kingdom would divide into Medes and Persians. Zenobia is another story, and it's about a great war hero and the queen of Palmyra. She refused to marry until she was forced into marrying Odaenathus. Once he died, she was defeated by the Romans and captured. The other story, and the other main story, is about King Pedro of Spain, who is banished from his kingdom by his brother and later murdered by his other brother. Other stories include the King of Cyprus, who was murdered for bringing ruin on the kingdom; Bernardo Visconti, who wrongly imprisoned his nephew; Ugolino, who was arrested with his children in the Tower of Pisa, and one son died of starvation and he started chewing on his own arm, and soon they all died. Nero is another story, and it's about a cruel and lustful man. He killed himself knowing he'd be assassinated, and he continues telling more stories of famous tragedies. Now, from an analytical perspective, the monk introduces the first real tragedy, or you could say the first real series of tragedies. And unlike other stories before him, there's not really much of a lesson to these tragedies. More of them just emphasize that fate can be very cruel to very powerful people. So that's it for now. If you found this video useful, do give us a thumbs up. And also, if you find the content on our channel useful, do subscribe for more educational videos and also free revision sheets. Thank you so much for listening.